Hi guys, so this video is a response to a few questions that I got from the Facebook group and also here on the YouTube channel about sodium depletion and potassium intake to improve the dryness effect and the shredded effect before any type of special events. A natural bodybuilder or a bodybuilder would definitely do that before going on stage to really have that type of shredded, dry effect. What I really like to point out here is that very often these techniques are pretty dangerous, and definitely I wouldn't recommend following this type of techniques or methodology for anybody who is not competing or is not doing any bodybuilding competition. It's not necessary. Actually, it's very dangerous. And what is important to know is that water retention, or the body mechanism to retain water under the skin, so subcutaneous water, is basically very strongly determined by homeostasis, or the amount of sodium or salt that we are basically intaking with the diet. So consistency and maintaining a regular intake of sodium throughout your diet throughout the weeks is much more important to avoid water retention than actually increasing or decreasing sodium and increasing potassium. So personally, just before any competition, or even like 2 weeks out or 1 week out, I put salt everywhere, or I salt all my meals without any problem. I mean, salt is very important also for the muscle contraction. What is really important, and what I just keep in mind, is that I need to make sure that there's no any kind of a significant decrease or significant increase of the sodium in my meals. I just maintain a constant balance and a constant amount of sodium in my meals. So homeostasis is the body process or physiological process that makes sure that all the minerals are in a perfect balance. It balances your body. So that's the most important thing. So basically you have two options. One is either salt everything or salt all the meals, and just make sure that you maintain a constant level of salt in or salt intake in your diet, or just don't salt anything. But that's a challenge, because then it means that you have to prepare your meal every time. You're not allowed to go outside and eat in a restaurant because, of course, they put salt there. And therefore, I would definitely recommend, a more kind of a realistic and pragmatic approach is just, don't be afraid, don't be scared of salt. The most important thing to avoid water retention is just to avoid, high peak or high increase of salt intake, and, low salt intake in your diet. And then for a natural bodybuilder, yes, what I personally do also before any competition is I just maintain the same level of salt just 1 week out before the contest, and then I start gradually decreasing it while increasing the amount of potassium, because potassium will just stimulate the diuresis, or the elimination of subcutaneous water under the skin, and shuttle water into the muscle. So you increase potassium and you decrease sodium, just to obtain this effect and have more water into the muscle. Water represents 70% of the muscle composition, and less water under the skin, really to avoid the water retention and have the shredded effect. But as I say, this is completely unnecessary for people who are not competing. Very often water retention is misled with actual fat. So you're still fat, or you still have a kind of a high or moderately high body fat percentage, and you don't have to confuse, you don't have to think that is water retention when it's actually fat. So I would definitely suggest, just as a recommendation, keep the constant level of salt in your diet. Don't decrease, don't decrease all of a sudden, out of the blue. And also just trying to get to a very low body fat percentage if you want to have the dry, shredded effect on your body. So there's no need of doing any kind of a salt increases or potassium increase in or one of these bodybuilding technique. Okay, so this is just a quick videos on this, and again, if you're interested in other topics, just let me know. Drop me an email or just post a comment here on YouTube, and I will be happy to cover that topic in the next video. Ciao.